What's up, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Got Next podcast. I'm your host, Mitchell Baldwin, with my co-host, Donovan Moore.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We back at it, man.
Yes, we are, man. We got Ben and Bo's Nate Ash in the house, man. Talk to him, B.
Man, it's good to be back, man. It felt like an eternity since last season, so good to be back. Gonna definitely make Sundays feel a lot better.
Absolutely, man. I don't think I've ever been excited for a Thursday night game of football, man. But this season starts tomorrow, everybody. As you know, week one, it's time to kick it off, man. So we have a lot of matchups to get to today. We'll be predicting the winners of each game for this week. So make sure you follow along with us, man. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff to the channel. And without further ado, we can get into the intro.
Three-pointers. Outside jumper from three at the bucket.
All righty, so we will be, again, kicking off tomorrow night, the beginning of the season, with the Chiefs and the Lions, man, with the winners of the championship last year, the Chiefs. Obviously, a lot of big news coming out today, man. Travis Kelce is hyperextended his knee, not looking likely for him. And we got the Lions, man, they're coming off one of the best seasons, that they've had recent history. So, B, talk to him, man. How do you feel about this game, man? A lot going on with this game, a lot of narratives coming in. What you got?
I think it's an excellent opportunity for the Lions to catch the upset here. I think, Chris Jones not playing for the Chiefs, really being their only good, definitely only elite defensive player, gives the Lions an opportunity on that side of the ball as well. But there is a quarterback for the Lions named Jared Goff who has a history going up against Patrick Mahomes in a high-scoring game. When he played for the Rams, he actually beat the Chiefs 54-51 on a nationally televised Monday night game. So it's not like it's impossible for Jared Goff and the Lions to win this game, but Patrick Mahomes is still that man. And even though his wide receivers seem to be getting worse and worse every year, he's still capable of greatness. So I'm a rock with the Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Chiefs as well. Even if Travis Kelce doesn't play, I believe Mahomes may have only one loss in his career as a starter in the month of September. So if he's even lost it all. So I'm going with the Chiefs. They're getting their rings, banners coming down. I got Kansas City.
Man, pretty crazy to say that you're still picking, the Chiefs after Travis Kelce isn't going to be there. A lot of weird things going on with the Chiefs actually coming into this season, man, as far as this Travis Kelce injury, and then you got Chris Jones still holding out with the team and then stuff like that. So a little bit of bad vibes coming into the season here. I like what Dono said, man. Mahomes does not lose a lot in the month of September, but what I am going to do here is be different because I like what the Lions have, man. I like Jahmyr Gibbs. I like David Montgomery. I like Amon-Ra St. Brown. I like a lot of these weapons that they have. I'm going to go with the Lions here, man. This is going to be a high-scoring affair here, so I'm excited to see what this game looks like, and definitely didn't want to pick the Chiefs because it's too easy. So next, we are looking at the Commanders and the Cardinals. Donovan, this is your team. We're going to go ahead and let you chime in here. What do you got for them?
The Cardinals, as we all know and expect, are probably going to be a terrible team. No DeAndre Hopkins, no Kyler Murray anymore. Kyler Murray's out injured. New coach. The Commanders are under new ownership. So that was Mitch.
You I'm good? Bro. I'll be back.
I think the Commanders. I think we'll get the dub here. New ownership. The crowd's going to be hyped. There's honestly. You can't start your season off losing to the Cardinals. That's my opinion. Just with how terrible they're going to be, this is not how you start your season, especially if you're Ron Rivera. That's almost a fireable offense. That's almost a fireable offense for you to lose to the Cardinals in your season opening game. They don't even know who their starting quarterback is for this game. So I have no choice but to take the Commanders. I'm going with the home team.
Yeah, so I know they actually did name Josh Dobbs the quarterback today because they did cut Colt McCoy. And obviously, Kyler Murray's still out for an extended period of time. It's kind of funny. I remember the last time the Cardinals were just an absolutely horrible team besides last year was like 2018, and they actually opened up with Washington that year, and they handed it to them. And yeah, I think they have a good chance of doing it again. And the good thing about the Commanders winning this game is they will not be in the cellar of the division after week one because the Cowboys and Giants are playing on Sunday night. So good opportunity for the Commanders to write off the critics and start the season off strong, even though they obviously don't have a formidable opponent. It would be a very bad look to lose this game to a West Coast team as bad as the Cardinals in week 1. So I think they'll take care of business at home.
I'm gonna obviously have to take the Commanders here. I think everybody coming into the season said the Cardinals are probably gonna have the worst offense in the league, if not just totally be one of the worst teams in the league as a whole. So I like what the Commanders have. Obviously the Eagles and the Cowboys are like the top 2 teams in the NFC East, but I mean that's not to say that the Giants and the Commanders cannot compete. Because I mean the Commanders have some pretty good weapons here. They got Jahan Dotson. They got McLaurin coming back. I don't know if he's going to be there this week, but he'll definitely be there as the season goes on. It kind of just really depends on Sam Howell and what their defense looks like. I think their defense has a chance to obviously be elite, but Sam Howell has to put it all together on offense for this team to work. So I do think that they'll be better than the Cardinals here. I mean, Josh Dobbs starting here. I feel like the Commanders cannot lose this game. This is like Donovan said, this is a bad look. And coming into the season, we already said that Ron Rivera would be on the hot seat. This is how you lose your job. This is one of the games right here. So
this is a fireable offense. If they lose, that's a fireable offense.
Already, you know what I mean? I think they're gonna give him a little bit more leeway than the first game of the season, but this is how you start that road down to being fired. So next, we're gonna rock with the Falcons and the Panthers. I went to this game last year. It wasn't really much to talk about. So B, who do you have for this matchup?
I mean, despite, it not being 2 of the best teams in the league, it's obviously, a very important divisional game for the NFC South, who we expect, whoever the winner is, not to be very strong. But, every game, especially at the division, counts. So, I would it's one of these situations where, I give the edge to the home team, especially due to the fact that they have, Desmond Ridder going into his second year. Whether you think he's a good quarterback or not, it is going to be Bryce Young's first game as a pro. Frank Reich's first game as the Panthers head coach. The Falcons, I also expect Kyle Pitts to have a bounce back junior year. They could start that, this week. And obviously the big sensation of Bijan Robinson will be his debut. So that's another thing to watch in this game. And the Falcons made some moves. I mean, they got an older Calais Campbell, but he's still a big body on defense. They got Jesse Bates also from the Bengals, getting them AFC North defensive players. They took lessons from watching other divisions play, smash mouth football, I guess. They're trying to apply it down south. So I'll take the home team here, the Falcons.
Yeah, I agree with you, B. Bryce Young's first game. The Falcons have continuity with the coaching staff and at least the quarterback. They made a few additions, and I'm going with the Falcons as well.
I'm also going to go with the Falcons here. I like Bijan Robinson, obviously. I think that's probably the biggest name in this game other than the Panthers quarterback, obviously the young quarterback. But this could be an ugly QB game now that I'm looking at this matchup between Desmond Ridder and Bryce Young. But ultimately, I'm going to rock with the Falcons. I like their weapons here, and I like them turning their season around as well. So rocking with the Falcons. Next up, another interdivisional matchup. We got the Browns and the Bengals. Man, this division is going to be a dogfight this year. This is one of my favorite divisions in football. This is going to be extremely competitive. B, who do you have in this divisional matchup?
Yeah, I mean, I think most of us would agree that they expect the Bengals to have a better record than the Browns after 17 games. But Joe Burrow is 1-4 against the Browns in his career and has never won at Cleveland. And obviously, this is his first week back at practice since the scary injury in training camp. They expect him to play. However, I do sense there are going to be some upsets in week 1, and I'll pick this as one of them. I still think, even though the Bengals made some acquisitions on their line, I still think the line isn't perfect yet, and it's going to take a few games to build some continuity there. And you got a ferocious pass rusher in Myles Garrett coming at Joe Burrow. He definitely smells blood based on the fact that he might not be 100% entering the game. And I think, the Bengals, they lost week 1 last year to the Steelers, and, they turned it around. I expect them to do the same this year if they're to lose this game. But I just think this is one of those spots where we could land an upset. So I'll pick the Browns.
Yeah, I'm actually going to agree with you, B. I think Deshaun Watson was a little rusty when he came back in for Cleveland to end the season. I think Cleveland, obviously, Stefanski's on the hot seat. they have to get off to a high start. I think they'll just be the more hungrier team here. So I think Cleveland will start the season with a win. But as you said, I think the Bengals will just come on late and be that normal playoff team we've seen the last 2 to 3 years with Burrow.
Right.
I agree. I think it also is kind of important for the Browns to get off to a good start because, again, I talked about how good this division is. And I think if I had to pick a team early preseason that's probably not going to make it or that's probably going to be at the bottom, it'd probably be the Browns. So I think this is definitely it's important for them to start good. So I'm going to rock with the Browns as well. Always like the Browns' weapons. It's all about their quarterback play. We obviously saw Deshaun Watson was not himself last season. So we're going to see if we can get back to that this year. I like them starting out well out the gate. Moving on, still a part of this, the previous division, we got the Ravens here, and we also have the Texans. So how do you guys feel about Ravens versus Texans?
Man, it would blow my mind if the Ravens were to lose this game. By no means do I think they'll be representing the AFC in the Super Bowl, but I mean obviously a lot of the offseason talk has revolved around them in that huge contract dispute Lamar and the front office were having. They finally got something done and gave him better weapons than he's had in the past. Although I don't think they're necessarily elite weapons yet. I think you got something in Zay Flowers. And you got a solid veteran in Odell Beckham, which is more than enough to take on a Texans team with a rookie head coach, rookie QB, and let's face it, a team that's been at the bottom of the league for the last 3 years. So at home, it would be very concerning if the Ravens did not get off to a 1-0 start here.
Yeah, I got the Ravens. That, like you said, that'd be disappointing if they lost.
Same thing here. I'm going to pick the Ravens. Obviously, I just want Dameon Pierce to have a good day. That is my RB2. Next, we have the Colts and the Jaguars. Jonathan Taylor obviously still holding out for the Colts. B, how do you feel about the Colts and Jaguars?
Yeah, obviously, and we talk about, rookie head coach, rookie QBs. Another AFC South team who's in that situation is the Colts. It'll be Shane Steichen's first game as head coach, Anthony Richardson's first official regular season game as QB. Jaguars got some big expectations this year, bigger than last year, obviously. It's going to be, Peterson and Lawrence's second year together to scheme and cook up some things. And, they seem to have an all-around, decent roster, certainly enough to take on the Colts, rebuilding Colts team in week 1 without their star running back. So give me the Jaguars here. Shouldn't be close, but, week 1 it could be, but definitely think the Jaguars won this game.
Yeah, I'm interested to see the debut of Anthony Richardson, especially with the new head coach. But I think the Jaguars, as we've all been talking about on previous football episodes, they'll be a better team. The second year of Doug Peterson and Trevor Lawrence seems like he's only going to get better and better. And then to add Calvin Ridley to the mix with ETN in the backfield, I'm really interested to see what the Jaguars are going to do this year. So I like the Jags.
Just on a pure talent basis, this should be a dog walk, I feel like. I'm going to pick the Jags here. The Colts should – I don't really see this being a close game, to be honest, especially with the expectations that we have for the Jags. Like, for this to be a close game with the Colts and Anthony Richardson's first game would be kind of crazy. So rocking with the Jags for sure. B, this is your team here in the Steelers, the 49ers. So, I mean, obviously you're going to go first anyway, but you can obviously go first now. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I got some bad news a couple hours ago. Not for the Niners, obviously, but Nick Bosa, signing that deal that made him the highest paid defensive player in NFL history. I figured they were going to get it done. Didn't know they were going to get it done today, which in effect, will probably make him available for week 1. He's a veteran player, probably will be on a snap count, but nevertheless, he's the reigning defensive player of the year. So as if the Steelers didn't already have, big challenge ahead of them with the Niners pass rush with Fred Warner, with Arik Armstead and Javon Hargrave. Steelers definitely got their hands full. However, week 1, like I was just saying, week 1's a different week. The last 2 years, week 1, the Steelers beat the Bills in week 1 in 2021. I don't think anyone expected that. And last year, they beat the Bengals in week 1. I don't think anyone expected that. And also week 1 last year, the Niners lost to the Bears. So weird stuff happens in week 1. And I think this is a good opportunity for the Steelers to get the upset. Niners coming from the West Coast to the East Coast. George Kittle's a little nicked up. He may or may not play. Obviously, Brock Purdy, it's his first game back from the horrific elbow injury in the NFC Championship. And the Steelers look to be a vastly improved team this year, especially on offense. I know their defense will hold its own, but I'm going to pick us to get the upset here in week 1. By no means do I think we're the better team, but I think it's an opportunity to sneak one by. And if I'm wrong, that's that. But it's definitely a nice week to get this opportunity to get an upset.
Actually, oh, my bad. Go ahead, D.
No, go ahead, bro.
No, that's all you. That's my bad. Go ahead.
I was just going to say these are 2 top 5 defenses, 2 young ascending quarterbacks. I'm actually going to agree with B. I'm going to take the Steelers at home here. Just their proven track record in week 1s these past couple of years when you expect nothing from them, and then they have an improving team. This is going to be a great defensive battle, but I got to go with Pittsburgh at home.
It's absolutely going to be a great defensive battle. I got the chance to listen to Mike Tomlin talk about this game a little bit yesterday, and he was already preparing for Nick Bosa to play. So I think that's obviously just the genius of Mike Tomlin, not really counting it out at any point, just being prepared. So I do like what the Steelers have. I mean, the 49ers defense is great, but the Steelers defense isn't bad either. The 49ers just obviously I think have more offensive talent, but I really like Kenny Pickett as well, man. I think it's going to be a hard-fought game. I think that I am ultimately going to go with the 49ers, but I think the Steelers will put up a good fight in this one. I don't think that they'll be dog-walked or anything like that. So, rocking with the 49ers there. Next, don't think this one should take too long. B, talk to him, man. Who you got?
The Bucs do not have Tom Brady anymore, and they went 8-9 with him last year. So, if that didn't answer the question, I'll let everyone know I'm picking the Vikings here. Might not be a great team this year, but because they won a lot of close games last year, sometimes in fluke fashion, but they're hands down better than the Bucs.
Yeah, I got the Vikings.
Yeah, I got the Vikings. Not only do the Bucs not have Tom Brady, they don't have Sam Darnold. They don't have anybody that's even mid. They have Baker Mayfield. So, yeah, Vikings all the way. So next, we got the Saints and the Titans. The Saints should be much improved this year. Obviously, the Titans made a pretty key pickup here in DeAndre Hopkins not too long ago, so they're looking to do some things as well. B, who do you have?
Oh, this is the battle of the mids. We got 2 quarterbacks who are probably in the same league. We got we got 2 teams who were 7-10 last year, who are looking to be a little improved this year. This is tough. Give me the Titans just because it's Derek Carr's first game on the Saints. He could be a little shaky. I know Mike Vrabel's a really good coach, and no matter who he's got on his team, he puts his players in a good position to win games. They're obviously going to put the ball in Derrick Henry's hands and let him do what he can do. So I think, and Kamara not being available, I just think they might have a slight edge, the Titans. And I think they're a better road team than they are a home team. I think we've seen that over the last few years. That's why they've lost in the playoffs, because they can't win at home. But the one year they were wild card, they made it to the AFC Championship. So I'll take the Titans on the road here.
Yeah, I agree as well. I'm going with the Titans on the road. They're just better coached. It's Derek Carr's first home game, but I just feel like, the Saints, they have a solid defense. I have some question marks about their coach, but I got to go with the Titans here. They have all the recipes to win on the road. They have a solid defense, and then they have a great running game, as we all know. You incorporate that play action if you get a healthy DeAndre Hopkins, and they still have Treylon Burks, who was a young up-and-coming receiver last year. I think the Titans can make a little bit of noise in the AFC, especially with their weaker division. So I got the Titans winning this one.
This one's interesting. I'm going to go with the Titans, I think. I like their run game, obviously, a little bit better. Saints obviously have a pretty good receiver core. Chris Olave, Michael Thomas coming off another injury, though. So, but the Titans, Derrick Henry, D-Hop. I mean, you got Tannehill back there. I mean, it really is a battle of mid. It's just pick your mid. So my mid this week is going to be Titans. So there you go. I'm rocking with that. We got the Bears and the Packers. Now, this is no longer the matchup that it used to be, as A-Rod is now in New York. So, B, do the Bears have a chance to turn this around, turn this curse around? Can they?
Yeah, I mean, that's been 2 games. The Packers been circling on their schedule for almost the last 20 years, just laughing at it, knowing this is going to be a victory. 9 out of 10 years, it's going to be a clean sweep. I'm interested to see how the Jordan Love, Justin Fields era is going to go. I do think this game comes down to coaching, and to be honest, I don't know anything about Matt Eberflus. I know he was a rookie head coach last year, but I feel like he's just, no disrespect to him, but the most irrelevant coach in the NFL. I don't think you could get a group of friends and get majority of them to name who the Bears head coach is. He's just not, his name ain't out there like that. He hasn't earned his stripes yet. And I know Matt LaFleur is at least a decent head coach. I know he was probably a yes man to Aaron Rodgers like Mike McCarthy was, but he went 13-3 3 years in a row. So obviously, did his job to an extent. And this is going to be a dogfight division as well. Give me the Packers just because, I just think they had the upper hand in this rivalry.
Yeah, the game's in Chicago.
Yes, sir.
The Packers, I think Jordan Love will be solid. It may take him a little time, just not having any real NFL action underneath them. With that being said, I'm going to have to go with the Bears. They're at home. You add DJ Moore to the fold. Justin Fields is a year improved. They made some signings to help bolster their defense and offensive line through the draft. So I got to go with the Bears at home. I think Justin Fields, this is his third year. I think it's just time for him to really take that jump. And then you add a wide receiver one like DJ Moore that only can help somebody get better. So I think Justin Fields will put it all together this year, and I think the Bears start the season off with a win.
A lot of unknowns entering this game. We don't really know what the offense is really going to look like. We really know what the Packers offense is really going to look like, honestly. So a little bit of a coin flip here. I'm going to go with the Bears here just because I feel like they have the more consistent team here. Like they're kind of bringing back more of the same guys. So I'm going to rock with the Bears. But hard pick, honestly. This should be a good matchup. We got the Seahawks and the Rams. Cooper Kupp is out this week. B, talk to him. What you got?
Yeah, I was going to say, these two teams play each other pretty tough, and Sean McVay certainly has had Pete Carroll's number, although the Seahawks did sweep him last year, and a big reason for that was the Rams did not have three of their best players, Aaron Donald, Cooper Kupp, and Matthew Stafford, and they're not going to have Cooper Kupp for this game. The Seahawks improved their roster. So I'm going to pick the Seahawks here, just, better team at home, it looks like, and the Rams don't have the weapons to steal an upset here.
I agree. I'm going with the Seahawks at home. They surprised a lot of people last year. I think with the additions they made, their defense, I think, will be better this year as well, and they're at home with their fans. I got Seattle.
I mean, when you think about the Rams not having Cooper Kupp, they have one of the worst wide receiver corps I've ever seen without Cooper Kupp. It's led by Van Jefferson. I mean, that's all I got to say. So I'm going to rock with the Seahawks here. I like the fact that they have DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Kenneth Walker. A lot of guys you can hang your hat on here. The Rams, it's Cam Akers and Van Jefferson show. So, yep, I'm rocking the Seahawks here. Next up, we got some two high-octane offenses. The Chargers looking to do some things with Kellen Moore as their offensive coordinator. B, talk to me.
This looks like, a very evenly matched game, two potentially explosive offenses and two stellar defenses for sure, especially the Chargers. But two things, helped me make my pick for this game, and it's east to west for the Dolphins, East Coast to West Coast. There isn't a further trip than Florida to California. And also, if you name the two quarterbacks, there's clearly one who's better than the other. Not to say the other one's bad, but there's a superior quarterback, and that superior quarterback is Justin Herbert. Dolphins probably got the better head coach, but they're at home, and they got the better QB. I expect them to win. They got a healthy team as well for once. So I'll pick the Chargers.
Now, this game is honestly a toss-up. I think it'll be high scoring. You have Tyreek Hill on one side, on the other, and Jalen Waddle on the other side. You have Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Herbert, Eckler. It's going to be a great game, but I think I'm going to go with the Dolphins. The Dolphins were a very, very good team as long as Tua was healthy last year, even with the first-year head coach. I know the East Coast to West Coast is a long trip, but I just feel like with the Dolphins, I think Tua kind of feels like he has a lot to prove, even though they were a playoff team last year. So I'm going to go with the Dolphins to start the season off with a statement and win this one.
I'm going to preface it by saying this is week one. I don't know what this is going to look like. But I like the Chargers coming out here because I think Kellen Moore has a little bit to prove here, just coming out. I think he's going to look to prove some stuff. I don't think that he necessarily has pressure to prove anything, but I put the pressure on himself. And when you look at the weapons the Chargers have, I don't think we've seen the best of this team, honestly. I don't think we've seen the best version of this team. I think we've maybe seen the best of what the Dolphins are, or definitely have seen like the ceiling that they can reach. I haven't seen that with the Chargers. So I think this is a really good game to kind of like establish yourself as this is a new season, new offense. Like we're ready to look great. We're ready to not, just be barely in the playoff hunt, but like we're ready to be dominant. So I'm going to go with the Chargers here. I think that they're going to look to make a statement early this season. Next, we have the Broncos and Raiders. Another battle of mid here, maybe upper tier mid, however you feel about the Raiders or Broncos. But B, how do you feel about this game?
Yeah, I mean, you'd think with these two teams, whoever is the loser of the two matchups where they play this year, if one of them gets swept by the other, that team should probably come in last in that division. And you got some old NFC West foes between Jimmy Garoppolo and Russell Wilson taking their, obviously NFC West quarterback talents to the AFC West. And are probably thought of as the bottom two quarterbacks in that division, even though they both played in Super Bowls. But what this game comes down to, honestly, it's probably coaching because they're pretty dead even. In fact, the Raiders are probably slightly more talented, but the Broncos are at home. And I do think even though Sean Payton's been running his mouth all offseason unnecessarily, he's probably doing it to motivate his quarterback, who he feels like is losing his confidence. I'm going to pick the Broncos. But, if they lose this game, they're probably not going to be a very good team this year. And, there's only a mystery what they're going to try to do with this Russell Wilson disaster. He's got a lot of pressure this year. If he doesn't show any signs of his old self or just, being a respectful quarterback, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for them. But I'll take them to win this game.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Broncos as well. New head coach. I feel like Sean Payton is the better coach of the two. And the Raiders, they always have something going on. I think Chandler Jones may be out this week. He's getting into a little spat with the organization. So I'm gonna go with the Broncos at home this week. I think they'll be slightly improved with Sean Payton at the helm, at the coach. So I got the Broncos at home.
I really want to pick the Raiders here. You guys pick the Broncos. I'm going to pick the Raiders here. I like the talent. Man. When I look at the Broncos, this all has to do with Russell Wilson. In his defense, doesn't have much to work with this week. Jerry Jeudy may be playing. I'm not quite sure. Tim Patrick out again for the season, which is insane. So he really only has Cortland Sutton out there. I think Javonte Williams is their main RB. I mean, their running back room doesn't look, great, to be honest. So I like what the Raiders have more on paper. Their coaching might not be that great, but I feel like they have so much raw talent that at times it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to go with the Raiders. Next, we have the Patriots and the Eagles. I don't think this one should be that hard, but B, who you got?
I mean, my only question is why did the Patriots choose this game to honor Tom Brady? I know he had his rivalry with the Eagles going 1-1 against them in Super Bowls, but he's not on the field anymore. And, I mean, if you look at the roster talent between these teams, they're probably at the opposite ends of the league. The only thing the Patriots really got going for them is Belichick as a head coach. They really didn't make any significant moves this offseason. They got Juju Smith-Schuster, who I saw a report saying his knee could blow out any minute, which he obviously denied. But, I mean, depending on Juju Smith-Schuster as one of your top receivers is already a bad thing that only the Chiefs have seemed to be able to overcome by winning a Super Bowl with him last year, number one receiver, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, the Eagles are going to win this game unless they're I don't know. I can't find a reason for the Eagles not to win this game.
I agree. I got the Eagles. They're clearly the better team.
The Eagles definitely win this game. B, I was laughing because that was probably the funniest injury report I think I've ever seen in my life. They said his knee was quote unquote a mess. It could blow up at any point. I'm like, that sounds like a bomb, bro. Why are you talking about his knee? Like, this is a man's knee. Like, it's a mess. What does that mean? I've never heard that before, bro.
It makes me so curious how the Patriots went from a double dynasty to just not caring about stacking their roster at all. I feel like it's getting worse and worse every year.
Yo, I was actually crying when I saw that report, bro. A mess is insane. I'm sorry. I think that's hilarious. So we got the Giants and the Cowboys up next. Oh, of course, it's my team. Jeez, I got to stop crying. All right, here we go. I got the Cowboys coming out here, establishing themselves early. Tony Pollard, man, that's my RB in fantasy, and I think that he has an opportunity. He was a number 8 running back last year, and I think he has an opportunity for a lot more here. I think the Cowboys have talked about getting the ball out of Dak's hands more this year and just running the football and things like that. So I really like what they have. The team, again, looks great. It is all about Dakota Prescott, man, and let's see what he can do this year. I'm going to go with the Cowboys. I like what we have. The Giants are also not a slouch, so we're going to have to bring a little bit of our A game here.
Yeah, the Giants certainly aren't a slouch, but one thing I've kind of noticed watching the Cowboys over the last several years, unless they're playing the 49ers, when Dakota's the better QB of the two, I know they're not on the field at the same time, but when he's the better QB of the two, he usually wins. And ever since he's been the Cowboys quarterback, they have not had many problems at all in their divisional games, especially against the Giants. So I think, even though the Giants are a little improved, the Cowboys are still the overall better roster. They shouldn't have to do much. Dakota should not have to go outside of his game to try to win this game. I think, McCarthy, since he's the play caller now, he's going to, keep the ball out of his hands in critical situations. He's going to try to establish a running game. Game might be lower scoring, but the Cowboys, I think, have more than enough to win this game based on raw talent. So I'll go with the Cowboys.
Yep, I agree. I saw something interesting the other day. I believe Dak Prescott has never lost to the Giants, or he's maybe only lost once.
It's just his rookie year. I think he got swept by him, but since then, I think he's won every single matchup.
Yep, so I'm going to go with that consistency there. I think the Cowboys win this one.
Cool. Last but not least, guys, we have the Jets and the Bills. This is definitely going to be a very interesting game here. A lot of eyes on this game. Everybody expecting the Jets to be automatic Super Bowl contenders. So, B, how do you feel about the Jets starting off this season?
The NFL they did something right by making this the opening Monday Night Football game. I mean, if you're not watching this game, I don't know if you have a life, to be quite honest. Like, this is primetime football. Game of the week, Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, Garrett Wilson, Stephon Diggs. The list goes on and on, man. Two good defenses. Obviously, the Jets have had their struggles for the last 13 years, so it's really hard to decipher. Are they gonna get over the hump? Is Aaron Rodgers going to be what finally makes them a respectable organization? Bills got a lot of question marks too. This game could go either way, to be honest with you. I'm probably crazy for saying this, but I'm actually going to pick the Jets. I think a lot of people probably are going to pick the Bills because it's the Jets' first game together as a team, and the Bills are the more together team. But I just think Aaron Rodgers, is going to get off to a hot start. This game could go many ways. It could be mid-scoring, low-scoring, or it could be high-scoring. It really depends on the flow of the game, but I think it will be close no matter what, and expect there to be some fireworks. I like the Jets in a very exciting ball game.
I'm actually going to go with the Jets as well. I feel like Aaron Rodgers has kind of refocused, and I think that he has a lot to prove this year. He forced his way out of Green Bay. He was a legend there, but he also lost a lot of big games there as well. So going to New York, they kept pretty much the same team. Their only issue was the quarterback. So I don't think they should have that big of a drop-off when you add a Hall of Fame talent such as Aaron Rodgers. They're at home. It's the anniversary of 9/11. The crowd's probably going to be pumped. It's going to be very emotional. I'm going to take the Jets.
I'm picking the Jets here. I think the Jets have a chance to. If the Jets do win this game, the hype that they're going to get the following day is going to be insane, bro. And I think that it kind of exposes Josh Allen a little bit here, unfortunately, in the same breath, just because I think a lot of people are kind of down on Josh Allen, especially after everybody picked him as MVP last year and kind of just didn't live up to that. Had a lot of interceptions. I feel like if Dak didn't lead the league, Josh Allen would have been kind of the story of interceptions. So rocking with the Jets here, I think that they have opportunity to start out really strong here. And I didn't have them winning a lot of their initial winning games or beginning games in their schedule, but if they can win this is definitely a good start in the right direction for them. So rocking with the Jets here. So yeah, that is going to do it for all of our picks this week. Hope you guys enjoyed it, man. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, all that type of stuff. And if you think somebody else is going to win that we did not pick, please make sure you put it in the comment section. Tell us we're wrong. I like to hear that. So that's it for this week. Make sure you tune in next week and every week for our week predictions, man. You guys have a good one.